That right there is our project truck, Jeep Gladiator Rubicon, and this is a 6-month long-term update. The good, the bad, and the ugly. But for this review, I need help. Tommy.
Yeah, that's right, guys. We've had our Gladiator for 4,560 miles. I know not all that many, it's been in quarantine, but we've learned a lot over the last 6 months. We've taken it on-road, we've driven it extensively off-road, we've towed with it, and in this video, we're going over all the things you need to know before you buy your own Gladiator.
Let's do it.
We're going to start out with the top 10 great things with this Gladiator Rubicon, and number one has to be the off-road capability. This is, in my opinion, the most capable truck straight out of the box in the entire world. It's got solid axles, locking diffs, sway bar disconnects, and skid plates everywhere. I had an opportunity to take a Gladiator bone stock down the Rubicon Trail. It was 8 hours of smashing the skid plates on every rock you can possibly imagine, and the thing would just take hit after hit after hit. It's amazing where these trucks will go, even in stock configuration. It really is cool.
Normally when you have a pickup truck with solid axles, front and rear, the ride is not so good. But that's not the case with a stock Gladiator Rubicon. From the factory, the way that the springs are set up, the rear suspension with a 5-link and Fox shocks on the stock truck, the ride is actually pretty good on road and off.
The Jeep Gladiator is really the Lego brick of pickup trucks, and what I mean by that, anything you could possibly want, there's gonna be an aftermarket company to make your dreams come true. So in this case, we've modified it with Mopar parts, but the possibilities are endless. Front bumpers, rear bumpers, rack system, lift kits, wheels, tires, underbody protection, sliders, whatever you can imagine, there's gonna be a company to build that product. This is such a cool aspect of the Gladiator, and it really doesn't take much to make these trucks look incredible. With 35s on these, some bumpers, and this snorkel, I honestly believe this is one hell of a gorgeous truck. It just looks so tough and purposeful. One of the best looking trucks out there in my opinion.
And we modified this truck specifically for our new video series we're doing this summer, No Pavement Needed, where we drive this truck and also our modified F-250 cross-country off-road from Georgia to the Oregon coast. Another good thing about this modification is that underneath the truck you can fit a 35-inch tall tire right there. It's out of the way and it's a great solution.
Over the last 6 months, I've been very impressed with the interior quality of the Gladiator. It's really well thought out. All the buttons feel premium. There's leather pretty much everywhere. And my favorite part has to be this 8.4-inch Uconnect screen. Super easy to use, probably the easiest screen I've used in the industry. It's got applications, it's got navigation, it's quick to respond. One of my favorite features is the off-road pages, and when these, oh, I said it's quick to respond, this is the one application that takes 3 years to open up, but when it finally does open up, you'll see a bunch of really cool things that give you a lot of telemetry data about the Jeep. So I've got my accessory gauges, I've got my drivetrain information, pitch and roll. This is pretty cool that it really lets me see exactly what's going on within the vehicle. It's very handy when you're off-road.
The next good thing about the Gladiator is actually the rear seat legroom and headroom. I'm just over 6'2", and this front driver's seat is all the way back. And check it out. I still have knee space, I have headroom, and I'm relatively comfortable. We added additional off-road lights to the truck. 2 of them here on the pods by the A-pillars. But this truck now has freaking lasers. By that what I mean is actually we had the covers on the lights and we accidentally hit the auxiliary switch and the LED lights were on and they melted part of this cover. That's how powerful these lights are. They have a lot of heat.
We bought this Jeep in the middle of winter here in Colorado, and one of the best aspects of this vehicle is the heating system. It just gets you so incredibly toasty so incredibly quickly. So for example, the heated steering wheel is probably the hottest in the industry. Like, it's just overwhelming if you leave it on for more than 10 minutes. The heated seats are amazing, and just the general climate control in this Jeep is extremely effective.
When this truck was all stock, we really wanted to know exactly how fuel efficient it is, because it's important on your road trip. And it did really well unladen. It almost matched the EPA rating of the 22 mpg on the highway. And then we also did a towing Mpg loop with this truck with 7,000 pounds behind it. Here's what happened. Let's see what the damage is. The engine was revving pretty high. It was trying hard. So if you guys are looking to tow a camper with a Gladiator, try to probably keep it under 7,000
Yeah,
pounds.
no reason to run it right at the very tip of the capacity like we do, because we're testing it to 11. Well, we're getting...
All right, 66 miles divided by 11.108 equals 5.9. You know what? The computer was spot on.
Well, very close, yep. 6 mpg.
Very close, 5.9 officially. Wow, that's fairly poor performance.
And I think probably one of the most underrated features of the Gladiator that everybody forgets is this is a true convertible. One of the most freeing vehicles you can drive, because the top comes off, the doors come off, the windshield folds down. It is really cool. However, in 6 months, I've never taken the top off this Jeep once, just because the top comes off in multiple stages. So you do have these freedom panels that pull out, and these should be very convenient because it means they don't have to pull off the whole rear part of the vehicle. But if you're out with friends, for example, there's not really a great solution for these. You gotta throw them in the bed, and if you're off-road, they're gonna rattle around and slosh around. And what I would have loved to seen is a solution to where maybe you could have stored these tops behind the rear seat. That would have been pretty cool. Would have kept them right out of the way.
I totally agree with Tommy. The convertible part of the truck is awesome, especially if you get a soft top. But let's switch gears completely to the bad. These are the things we've learned. And of course, the first thing everybody talks about is the price. The Rubicon Gladiator starts at around $44,000. But this truck you see right here cost us about $55,000. And that's not even the top of the line. And if you add more options, you can get the price over $60,000. And that makes it the most expensive mid-size truck.
And the issue with the $55,000 asking price on this Jeep is there are certain things about this model you'd expect to be standard that just aren't, such as the headlights. Andre, go ahead and flick these ones on. Yeah, they use standard bulbs, they are not LEDs, and they are extremely poor. They just do not work very well at night whatsoever. Basically like candles in the wind, if we're being honest. And at $55,000, I'd expect to see LED units on here, which are an option, but should definitely be standard, at least on the Rubicons.
If you buy the non-Rubicon version of the Gladiator, the maximum towing capability is 7,650 pounds, which is class leading for a four-wheel drive truck. When you get the Rubicon suspension, which is a little bit softer, the rating comes down to 7,000. And we did the iGauntlet with this truck, the world's toughest towing test. And here's what happened.
Oh, I have to brake again. Okay, that's 8. I think we're pretty much down, Andre.
We're almost done,
so loosen up that grip on that wheel.
8
is getting up there, dude.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think the truck actually did a lot of what's called grade shifting.
No, the transmission wasn't acting, you know, we never heard the engine rev up, right?
Yeah, so trucks have a thing called grade shifting, which allows the transmission to go to a higher gear, which allows for engine braking, using the compression of the engine.
Yes.
And I didn't feel any of that on this truck.
No, but the trailer brakes and the control helped us out in a big way. You ready?
I'm ready.
Stopping now.
All right, 1022, Andre, 1022.
Okay, 4.7 is the MPG. Can you see that? 4.7. As you saw there, the 8-speed automatic transmission did not hold us too well on the way down, and on the way up, the truck was a little bit slowish at maximum elevation.
Let me preface this next point by saying that overall I'm very happy with the truck, but there is one aspect which is really pretty unacceptable and I think needs to be changed, and that is the driver comfort. When I first got in this truck, I'm like, let's do this, let's drive the new Gladiator. I hopped in and I went to adjust the seat because I thought someone had it scooted forward, and immediately there was an issue. This seat, the driver's seat in particular, does not go back far enough. I am 6 foot 1 inch tall, so fairly tall, but really not all that large, and I just can't get comfortable here. In order to drive this Jeep, I have to put the seats all the way back, then I have to recline the seat just to have a little bit more room so that when I extend my arms, I can use the steering wheel comfortably and I can use the pedals comfortably. But I mean, look at this angle at which my legs are. This is all the way back. This seat is as far back as it can possibly go, and on long road trips, this does get pretty tiresome. And then we transition to the seats, which don't have enough adjustability. So for example, if I could move up this bottom cushion, maybe I'd have some thigh support, but I can't. Overall, brilliant truck. But this driving position, it needs to be adjusted.
The other two not so good things about the Gladiator is actually the breakover angle. Basically in the middle. On a stock Rubicon, it's not great. It's one of the lowest in the segment, and we gave it a 2-inch lift with this Mopar Jeep Performance Part suspension kit, and it got better, but still it's an issue. Good thing it has a rock slider right here in the center. And also the not so good part is actually the look of the overall truck when it's stock. Without the lift and the bigger tire, it kind of looks like it's a big truck on like these little tiny wheels.
Another negative about the Gladiator is I wish there were more standard safety systems and airbags. So for example, this Gladiator Rubicon has 4 airbags, one in the front for both the driver and the passenger, and then one on each side, but there could be knee airbags or airbags for the rear. They're definitely skimping a little bit in that front in my opinion. And then you've got the safety systems. There's no standard forward collision warning, no standard blind spot monitoring, no standard lane keep assist, all things that some of the competition is integrating.
Hello there, can you see me? Here's another issue with pretty much every midsize truck, but the Gladiator is included. The rear window here is available, but it's a manual operation. There's no button you can push. And sometimes that's just nice to have open on a hot day. I wish it had a powered rear window.
So we've done the good and the bad, but what about the ugly? I really only have one ugly, and it's this weird kind of panel here, this blank piece of sheet metal between the rear door and the back of the cab. They did this so they could use the same rear doors as the Wrangler, which of course is the cousin to the Gladiator, but this just looks a little unwieldy. I feel like this could have been finished off a little better. Well, this is the list of the good, the bad, the ugly, and the perfectly adequate. This is the 3.6 liter Pentastar V6, but it's the only engine available in this Jeep, right?
Yeah, so the good is the horsepower is pretty good, right? 285 horsepower. The bad, the torque is pretty low, 260 pound-feet of torque. And the other bad is there's no other engine option right now, right, Tommy?
Yeah, that's right. There is a diesel coming eventually, but this is the only engine available. A lot of people have a lot of opinions on it. In my opinion, it's exactly adequate for the vehicle. It's not overpowered, it's not underpowered. With the 410s and the 8-speed and the lift, it works perfectly well, but not great, but also not terribly. It's just like right down the middle.
Wait a minute, Tommy. You guys took it to Moab, right, with the lift and with these tires, and the fuel economy went down fairly significantly, right?
Yeah, it went down to about 14 or 15 on the highway, depending on the route we were on, which isn't great, but overall, the latest generation of 3.6 Pentastar has proven to be pretty darn reliable. There's just nothing special about it, but nothing bad. Andre, overall, I've been super pleased with the Gladiator. Andre's laughing because I can't say the word Gladiator properly.
I can't either.
Anyways, my overall impression with this truck, it's brilliant if you go into it with the right mindset. In my opinion, it's a Wrangler with a bed, which is not a bad thing. You know, the marketing people make it seem like that's a bad thing. A Wrangler with a bed is exactly what people wanted for like 3 decades, and then they got it. So don't complain, it's a Wrangler with a bed. It does that job perfectly.
I would agree. If you ask me, would I buy the truck again for the company? I would say, heck yeah, as long as you're prepared to pay, right?
Right.
I mean, don't go into this thinking this is an affordable truck. It's not, but it offers a lot for the money, and look how cool it is now.
Oh, it looks so cool, easy to modify, brilliant off-road, pretty good on-road. Definitely recommend it if you're looking for something that you want to take off-road but need a little bit more usability.
And guys, we have other long-term update videos at tfltruck.com, so check it out either on this channel or on the website.
Yep, and head over to TFL Truck because we got a lot more of these coming.
Yep.